this is all happening because Joe Biden and the Democrats threw open the southern border and then lied about it to the American people for years.
I'm from California, and California essentially legalized shoplifting. And they didn't mean to do that exactly. They meant to decriminalize this, when somebody's going in there, high on weed and take some Twinkies. They don't want them to have to, they have 2 previous crimes under California's 3 strikes and you're outlaw. These people go to prison for life. That's what they were voting against. Well, what they got was basically organized crime. Now, using cell phones, these mobs swarm these stores, empty, steal everything in sight. Well, every person there only steals $900, right? But anyway, let's say that's right. But then they go to another store and another store, and they basically legalize stealing. That's the context in which this statute is written, is why it's put in there. But it seems to me the pendulum, we got to get the pendulum right in the middle. We keep sort of veering wildly on criminal justice.
Well, you haven't, hold on. This is just happening. Maybe the Trump administration, maybe Tom Homan, maybe they're not going to be arresting, people for stealing a pack of gum or something. I mean, obviously there are a lot of illegal immigrants in this country who have committed more serious violent offenses, and they're starting with them, and that could take, a long time just to get that done.
Right.
Well, that's going to be very popular. These people who come to this country and commit violent crimes, or have committed violent crimes from, Trump said that these countries, Venezuela, emptied their prisons. There was no real evidence of that, but a lot of these people who came here did have felony records. Why were they, what are they doing here? That's what American people want to know. And as long as they stick to violent criminals, I mean, this thing will be very popular for a while. Yeah.
Well, Jamie Raskin said this about it. He said, all this sound and fury on day one and week one, but nothing to bring down grocery prices.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he really said that.
That's awesome.
About immigration. Anyway, I mean, is
Jamie Raskin's the one, by the way, who said, if you accept a pardon, that's admission of guilt.
Right. Yeah.
He hasn't said that since he himself was pardoned, I've noticed.
But I do wonder about Tom, birthright citizenship, for example, which I saw some recent polling on this from the AP, and people are sort of more for birthright citizenship than I would have imagined. It's about 48, 50% are for it, and only about 20% are against it, and the rest don't have a position. But is that going to be something that will prove controversial? Because there's already, court challenges to that, of course.
Yeah, it might. I mean, that might be an political loser for the Trump administration. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Look, there's no question though that if you look at the polling data over the last 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, probably since when Trump first took office, but certainly in the last 4 years, the public sort of tolerance for tougher immigration enforcement measures has gone up, and that's a direct. This is all happening because Joe Biden and the Democrats threw open the southern border and then lied about it to the American people for years. I mean, and
only 4 years.
Only 4 years, and let in 10 million people. I mean, it changed the entire dynamic of how the public thinks about immigration. And then you have these crimes like Lincoln Riley and others, and suddenly the public is like, enough, stop. Do whatever you have to do to make this stop. And so the pendulum is swinging back now. And to Carl's point, eventually it'll get to a point, maybe the Trump administration will push it to a point where it'll touch against, it'll go too far and the public will have backlash, and they'll end up somewhere in the middle. But at least for right now, the administration is taking serious action, and that's what the public wants.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm getting the feeling Tom wasn't moved by the Episcopal bishop at National Cathedral.
As an Episcopalian, I know where she was coming from, and I'm not going to.
I find it so condescending for someone like that. These liberals, who's going to wash our toilets and clean, cut our lawns and have mercy for the people who are, taking out our garbage. I mean, it's so condescending. I don't get it.
Tom, that's not quite that's not quite the spirit of it. I think what people mean when they say that is these people are working hard, and a lot of them are doing jobs that are hard to get native born Americans to fill anymore, in our service economy, and that they're necessary.
Say that.
Okay. That's what I think they're saying. That's what I hear that's what I hear.
I hear them say like, well, who's going to pick our vegetables? And who's, it's like, ugh.